I have many topics we could talk about. The one I'm going to center on a bit tonight is cloud and cloud computing and the implications of that in the industry. And as we think about the period that we're in, we think about this, that we're entering the third era of IT. The first era being the mainframe mini computer era. Some of you are gray-haired enough to know what that was like. Right, the second era was client server, where I sort of grew up at the beginning of that era. But client servers and a database, we're at the nexus of computing for the last couple of decades. But we're now entering this third era of computing, and we'll call it the mobile cloud era. Right, and we are re-architecting how we build applications. Right, we're re-architecting how we build infrastructure. All of those things have now gone up in the air. Right, as we go into this phase of computing. And it is dramatic, right? It is the most significant period of our careers as we go through these next few years. Now, against this, right, we think of this tectonic shift that's underway, and every one of you needs to do these two things. Right? This is your task as a technology leader in your respective business. You got to get money out of your Gen 2 and Gen 1 so that you can invest in your Gen 3. Right, you got to find ways, because how many of you have radically increased your budgets year over year? Right, it's not happening. Right, you're getting pressured by the finance department, by your CEOs, et cetera, to save money. Right, and you simultaneously have to build, and invest in that mobile cloud future. And against that, that's what we view, our unique role at VMware is helping you do these two things. Because no technology over the last decade, compared to virtualization, has had near the kind of leverage on your cost savings, your efficiencies, your agility of your current client, Gen 2 resources, and it's also the foundational technology for building Gen 3 mobile cloud infrastructures. And simply the status quo, doing what you've been doing for the last decade, ain't going to get you to the promised land. Right? We have to do things fundamentally differently. As we think about this, I'm been around the industry long enough, beginning since 1979. Right? Let's just go back in time. Right, for a little bit. Right, and then 1989 was a tectonic period of the industry. Right, it's the year of apartheid falling. It's the year of the Berlin Wall falling. Right, it's the year of the the true tectonic shifts. Right, the World Series earthquake at the time at 4:56 p.m. I lived here at the time. We still have a broken clock commemorating that moment in time. But another thing happened that year. Right, and those of you who've seen this building, I visited it many times. Right, the clock tower building of Digital Equipment Corporation. At the time, DEC was the #2 technology company on the planet. Right, and it was widely said they were the company that was going to displace #1, IBM at the time. And so, DEC, powerful, growing, the leader in this, mini computer era, and Ken Olsen made this powerful prophetic statement at the time, saying that fundamentally the PC is a toy. Right? It's going to have no relevance in business whatsoever. It was to the day, almost 9 years later after he made this statement, right, that a toy company bought DEC. Right? And they went from almost 150 billion in market cap to being sold on fire sale. Right, to that toy company. And you just couldn't have imagined that kind of tectonic shift going on as we went from Gen 1 to Gen 2 of IT, and the client server era overwhelmed Digital Equipment Corporation. We think the year that we're in right now is like 1989. 25 years later, we're just at that period, right, of shift of how the entire industry is changing, shifting, and being disrupted